All right. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. This is the wrap up. That's right. You see it. We are here. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. I'm rocking here with my guy Eru. Um, Listen, man, if y'all don't know Eru, he is the host, the cultivator of the conglomerate that is Die Hard Knicks, folks. So please, if you're into basketball and like the New York Knicks, support and show some love to my guy. He covers the Knicks. He does, watch alongs as well as live content. Well, watch alongs are live content, but separate content that's not a watch along. So please show him some love. And he's here because he's all things hip hop. It's ingrained in him. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, my brother. How you doing today?
Chilling, man. Hip hop police is in the building, man. Old school hip hop police.
You gotta love it, man. Listen, we here. And there's a lot to get to, man. There's a lot of stuff going on as usual. You know how it is. The hip hop never stops, and apparently there's always some bad news that's going on. This is good news too, but I don't know, man. Lately with hip hop, it's kind of been a little on the downside, a little negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I just
what I think with that, man? It's just like like they need to bring things back to the essence, but I don't think people know what the essence is. So I think that's a big problem. That's why things are always to the negative, always into clashing and stuff like that. Like that's the only part of hip hop, fighting each other.
No, I agree. And the one of the things that I wanted to talk about real quick, but is not on the list of things to cover today. But it is in the news, and I figured we just touch on it real quick. And shout out to everybody who's viewing on YouTube. Thank you for tuning into the Front Stoop, as well as if you are on X, formerly known as Twitter. Appreciate you for tuning in. It's this whole. I mean, what's wrong with women in hip hop right now, bro? I mean, it seems like it's getting worse. Like it was always a competitive sport, right? Any genre is competitive, right? And hip hop has definitely always been competitive. Men and women, men versus women, men versus men, women versus women, but never to this point where now women can't get along at all in the industry. They're good one week, the next week they're going at each other. And I'm being, sarcastic with how quickly it's happening. But I'm like, y'all were just good just a week ago. Like Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj going at each other. And I don't know, seems like Nicki Minaj is always the common denominator, whenever it comes to another female MC.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know what it is, bro. What is happening, man? Like, I don't know. What am I missing?
I don't know. I think naturally women are always defensive, not just in life, just in hip hop, Every time they talk about MCs, they always say, "Oh, what's your top 5 female MCs?" But why aren't they integrated into the whole group? There's always a subgenre of hip hop, from female MCs. Also too, man, I feel like women, I mean, there are a lot of I can't say that. I was gonna say something like the women don't really talk about anything real, but there's a lot of females that do talk about real stuff, but there's few and far between. Like I could literally just run them off, there's like maybe three of maybe 3 active rappers that are in the mainstream as far as females that actually spit, but people just say, oh, like they don't like Rhapsody, of course Rhapsody is the first one, so Rhapsody, but then who's the next one? It's like very small little groups. So I just think that's what it is. Women are trying so hard to be seen That's why you keep hearing about their vaginas and booty clapping and all this raunchy stuff. They're trying to be seen. I think that's the problem right now.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I don't know what's going on as far as the what do they call it? You know, we don't have like there's nobody policing hip hop. I mean, there's the hip hop police, but that's real police. You know what I mean? But like, there's nobody looking out for hip hop. Like,
The
there's
gatekeepers, right?
nobody. Yes, the gatekeepers. Where's somebody stepping in? Like, it has happened where we've seen some of the OGs step in with some of the violence and stuff that's happened in places like Chicago or other things where OGs get together, you know, and try to do something. Or like back in the day when there was beef with the Game and 50 Cent. You know what I mean? You had Minister Farrakhan stepping in and other OG rappers trying to squash it because they knew how much they meant to hip hop. And also, you know, we had just it's still recent in our minds, come off the whole thing that happened with Biggie and Tupac, and people were trying to kind of get away from that stuff, right? But from the women's side, where's the female MC stepping up and saying, you know what I mean? Like sometimes this gets a little old. Where's the Queen Latifah? I don't mean to throw her under the bus, but I'm just saying she's an OG and I respect her. Queen Latifah and MC Light, you know, Roxanne Shante, somebody coming into the forefront and talking with Meg, talking with Nikki, and saying, I mean, obviously we're talking about a beef. This is all on wax, and it's all like it's not like serious like the men get. But I'm just saying, I just think like it just puts it's a bad look for the industry, and they should continue to big each other up and not get into this petty stuff. But that's just my thought on it.
I agree with that. It would be nice if they said something, but a lot of the young people feel like they don't have to listen to the OGs. I think
True.
that's universal throughout everything. Like I don't need to listen to you. Like what I'm listening to you for. Like say like even like basketball. We're both basketball guys, right? Like kids would rather go see a trainer rather than be in the park and play ball in the park or listen to their uncles or hang out like and do the real road work. They rather just
Hmm.
go to a trainer, have their parents pay the trainer and let the trainer work them out, and they don't actually play real basketball. So same thing like hip hop, man. These there's nobody really training them. There's nobody showing them the game. There's a lot of stuff now with the streaming and being independent and stuff. A lot of the stuff, these new rappers, men and women, they're like trailblazing kind of like a new format. So they're like, yo, why would I listen to you? You signed a bullshit deal when I was your age. I could teach you game. So there's a disconnect, I think, in that way.
Yeah, no, you're right. I could agree with that. That's definitely very true. And shout out to the front stoop. I just put the front stoop overlay up because it looks a little better. But this is not technically the front stoop. The channel is the front stoop, but this is the wrap up. Okay, just wanted to give you guys a heads up for no confusion there. Shout out to my guy Simeon Russell. Thank you for always showing us love and keeping us at the forefront of this hip hop thing. And appreciate you having us on your channel.
Yeah,
So that being said, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Like I said, there's no real crazy beef or anything like that. It's just we'd like things to be a better look, especially for people like Meg The Stallion and Nicki Minaj because they are two of the better females in this hip hop industry, and they've got something to say. It's not just about provocative stuff. Yeah, they both can do that, but they also got bars, both of them. So it would be nice to have some of that frivolous stuff out the way and just get back to hip hop and get back to the music.
yeah, definitely.
We'll see what happens, man, going forward. But I hope they definitely do something to kind of get past that. So that being said, there's a couple different things that happened this week, and one of the things that I think is very interesting has to do with Usher, baby. Is that how he says it? I don't know. Um, he was on the Shannon Sharp show. What's the Shannon Sharp show? What is it called? I forgot.
Oh,
Uh
uh, Shay Shay.
Shay's Lounge or something like that.
Yeah, I can never say. I
Yeah,
say the
yeah.
same thing. I say, sharp show. You like that?
Yeah, yeah. She sells by the seashore. I don't know. It's one of
You
them.
should just call it the Sharp Show because the Club Shay Shay. I mean, like,
Yeah, Club
I
Shay
ain't
Shay.
going to no Club Shay Shay, fam. You know what I'm saying? You know, come on, man. I ain't going to Club Shay Shay. If I can't get in, I
Yeah,
can't pay out. Forget it. I'll go somewhere else.
yeah.
Good,
Right.
you know.
So yeah, this current episode that he had was Usher was his special guest. And Usher got into a couple interesting things. But two of the interesting things that he brought up. One was that apparently when they were around 12 years old, I think it was Beyonce, and a couple other females, that she was a part of a different female group. I think they were called the Dolls,
Mm.
and apparently Usher was tasked with kind of helping like babysit them. You know what I mean? So he was kind of in charge of them. He wasn't that much older than them, but he was already in the industry, um, and he was a little older. So yeah, he was in charge of watching Beyonce and the rest of her girl group. So I thought that was interesting.
I
But
don't think that was a good idea because I mean,
I,
just looking at his history, they say he used to hang out with Usher, sleeping in the same bed with him, and all kind of stuff. So hey,
oh, with
go
Diddy,
babysit
yeah, yeah,
Beyonce.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. What you don't know, you know what I mean? Hindsight.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that was one thing that came out of the interview. But the other thing that came out of the interview, which I thought was really, really interesting. I don't know how it would have worked, but I definitely know they would have put out some good music. But it would have been weird. He said that apparently he was asked to be a part of a supergroup. It never happened, but at the time it would have been Usher, Jay-Z, Diddy, and Pharrell.
It's interesting.
Could you imagine?
It's like four different sounds, you know. So it would have been interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. That's wild, man. I don't know. That's definitely different. I don't know how that would have looked. It kind of throws me off a little bit because of the Diddy, and it makes me think that Diddy was the one who was trying to put this whole thing together. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that maybe Diddy was trying to sign them. Pharrell might have been the producer with JC as the
Mhm,
rapper and Usher as a singer. I get that.
mhm.
But all four of them together, well, Puffy would have been asking to get in there. Oh, let me rhyme this. Let me say this first. Let me say, yeah, because he tried to do that with,
Yeah.
he was doing that with Biggie and Mace also.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely that's it's different. I'm trying to figure like I know Pharrell would have put together some fire stuff, some fire beats. Usher would have been definitely singing great, adding great harmonies to the whole thing. And Jay-Z would have been spitting, but what would Diddy have been doing? I mean, Jay-Z would have been writing twice, right? For himself and for Diddy. Like, I mean, I don't know what that would have been. It would have been
You remember
interesting,
when
I
he was
think.
doing all that dancing? He had what's the girl's name? Yeah, that the lady that he was messing around with. They were doing a dance video. He's like doing the dancing and all kind of stuff.
Which one was that?
The big
I
butt
feel like
girl,
that's
Spanish girl.
oh,
So I can't think of her name for nothing. She hasn't been out in a while.
ah,
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez, yeah.
Yeah, he had that big dance video with her and stuff. So he would have been
Oh,
doing
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
when they
that.
were doing the salsa and the tango and all that
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, 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 yeah.
not to. I mean, even back in the days, can't nobody hold me down. He's in the video doing all this. He would have been doing
Yeah.
something. To get himself.
Oh, yeah, of course. And he would have spit his little 2-second verse or whatever it is that someone else wrote for him. He would have definitely done something.
Yeah,
Diddy gotta take that, take that. He definitely would have done something.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I would have been here for it then, because I'm sure it would have been fire then. Because one thing Diddy knew how to do was make a sound that everybody was rocking with, or at least understand the sound that everybody would rock with. Pharrell knew how to make it. Jay-Z knew what it took, and Usher definitely, fell right in line. So it would have been interesting. I,
yeah.
I just don't. I don't know if Jay-Z could have kept up with it for a while. Like, him rapping and Usher doing his thing, and then Diddy in the background dancing. I don't know if he would. I
Well,
don't know.
we mentioned gatekeepers. All four of those guys are gatekeepers. So how do you keep everybody satisfied when everybody wants to
Right.
own it? JC probably would want to own that. Puffy will want to own it, and if Pharrell has his own stuff going on too, they probably would have all of them would have wanted ownership in it. So it probably wouldn't have worked. But
Right.
it's
Right.
interesting though, talent
Yeah.
wise.
Yeah. 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 That's true. That definitely would have been something. Um. So yeah, I mean, that's something that I wasn't expecting, and it definitely would have been interesting. But that kind of goes along the lines of all those what ifs. There's a bunch of what ifs that we know nothing about. I mean, some of them we've heard about. People who would have joined the group together, and it could have been something, and we never got that commission album.
I was
You
just
know,
writing that down because I was gonna it was gonna slip my mind. I just literally just wrote it down just now because that was supposed to have been Jay Z. It was supposed to have been Biggie. They were saying that maybe Buster might have been involved in it a little bit, as like a secondary kind of thing. So that would
mhm.
be interesting too. With Charlie
Yeah,
Baltimore too, right?
yep. I mean,
Yeah,
I think that would have been fire. I was here for that.
yeah,
And then Brooklyn's Finest was in the indicator of how some of the music would have been. Yeah, I definitely was looking forward to that. Brooklyn's Finest was dope, man. I can't believe that. So sad that Biggie left us so soon in his young life, and we only got 2 albums out of it. It's crazy.
yeah. That one song too that he did with the Rocky beat. He's like, "In the commission, we asked for permission." That part. So he was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
throwing the commission out there. So
yeah,
that
yeah,
would
yeah.
have been the springboard for the rest of the for that movement. So
Correct,
you could tell
correct.
like the tone of it. The tone of that. It would have been real dope. I think.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly Biggie was he was very good at well, I don't know if it was him or Diddy, whatever, but I think Biggie had a little to do with that too. He was definitely good at selling himself, marketing himself, and he made what they say, big black and uh sexy. What was it? Big black. I don't know. I forgot the term that they used for him. But yeah,
Yeah.
he definitely he knew how to market himself. I'll say that.
And he wasn't afraid to
Um
to bring people together too. Fat Joe mentioned that the hit that they actually did, like he said they did an album. Fat Joe might be exaggerating a little bit, but they did like a series of songs with just Biggie and Fat Joe that there's out there somewhere that's gonna come out probably when we're like old, or it might not ever come out. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
it's interesting that they all those people touched each other like that. But we just would never know because of whatever reason, politics or just industry stuff that we don't understand.
Right. I mean, that sucks, and I hate that stuff, man. To hear because I know I forgot there was somebody the other day said, "Yeah, I got a couple songs with Jay Z and Nas," and I don't know if it was just Blaze or somebody got that in the vault, and like you can't you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is. Um, Juvenile's upset with the Lovers and Friends showcase, folks. It's actually a Lovers and Friends festival.
Oh, okay.
Um, but he's apparently upset. His words were y'all playing games with the wrong MF. Uh
So I'm like laughing because it's called the Lovers and Friends Showcase, and Juvenile is on the Lovers and Friends Showcase. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. Well, listen, the best love song ever is back that thing up. Like
You ever seen the Tiny Desk
I
little
did.
concert that he did? Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
even
yeah.
realize he was saying that stuff. I was like, damn, let me turn this down. This is
Right?
not safe
That's what I
for.
said. Like when you young and you just looking at it, like it's censored or it's something, but I don't know. I was just rocking with the groove. I wasn't really paying attention to when you older now, you're like, oh, what?
Yeah, we listening to the
Okay.
radio version, so we hear like so you're not really thinking of it. But then when you hear the raw version, you're like, damn, he was saying that. Sheesh.
So apparently he's upset because he says, "Here we go again, man. These cats at Lovers and Friends, whoever in charge over there, Lovers and Friends, man, y'all doing bad business, man. Y'all done put my name on a flyer, and y'all know you ain't sent me no deposit, ain't sent me no bread or nothing.
You got to
Y'all
say it in
keep
his
playing."
accent.
I wish I could, but I don't think it's good enough, man. You know what I mean? My Nolans ain't working. He said, y'all keep playing games, talking about y'all gonna get back at me. Look at y'all playing games with the wrong MFer. Man, if y'all gonna book me, if y'all not gonna book me, take my mother effing name off y'all fly. I ain't got no problem with that. I could do something else with my time. He also included, I ain't tripping, but don't put my effing name on y'all flies if y'all not ain't if y'all know you ain't paid me no money. That's effed up.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
So that's an issue
But
too,
yeah,
because I mean, like we've been in the industry, music industry for a long time now. So it's like, why are we still cutting people's throat? At this point, like we just mentioned a bunch of guys, Usher, Puffy, Jay Z, Pharrell, all these guys, Lovers and Friends, these head guys are heading that. Why are they still cutting people's throats to this day? Why can't the it's like boxing. Like boxing, you can't trust the judges in the thing because they're not gonna call the fight properly. Like when are they going to like even the playing field a little bit, or at least be honest? Like,
right,
what's so wrong with being honest in the game?
right. That's a fact. That's fair. I don't know what it is, man, but it's the oldest. It's like been around, forever. It's the oldest thing in the world. Always promoting and saying this person or that person is going to be at your event. You know what I mean? Just to get people in, and then when they're not there, I always wonder how do people get away with that? You know what I mean? Like, okay, you're gonna say this person's gonna be at the event, and maybe they're not going to be there. But then, what do you do when the event's happening? How do you keep people in the building? Like, what? I don't know how that works.
They've been doing that forever, man. I was
I
thinking, I was
know.
talking about this the other day. Skate Key, right? Back in the days, they were gonna have Little Kim there, so that was the headliner. Little Kim and Little Caesar's gonna be there. So anyway, while we was waiting online, they had us waiting online forever. But then I actually saw Little Kim. She was like in the distance. So I said, oh, she's here.
Hmm.
So oh shit. So then once we got into the venue, she never came out. It was just Little C's. So they do that
Hmm.
all the time. They'll pack people in there. MOP is notorious for that. Like MOP will be in there, and then people are waiting to see MOP, and MOP never comes out. You know, so they do that. They've been doing that since the dawn of time. Yeah, but you
Well,
would think now, and like after all this time passed, everybody's OGs now. You would think that the paperwork would be done properly now. You shouldn't be still doing that.
yeah, like yeah, especially, and then obviously for that's the other thing for this to happen to a guy like Juvenile. You know what I mean? Who's been in the game for so long. Like, I don't even know how you could think you could get away with that. And Lovers and Friends Festival is apparently it's been a big thing going on. It's not like it's new to the scene, and they've been very successful.
Right.
So it's kind of surprised. Um,
Also too, man, guys be burning bridges, man. Like guy like Juvenile. As soon as you said Juvenile's on the Lovers and Friends to us, let me hear this. Because I know he's gonna burn the bridge. Same thing like Melly Mel burned his bridge. What's MC Shan burned his bridge. And then after the fact, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Because they didn't understand the full story. But before they talk to the person and do the business, they already yell, running their mouth in to the media or whoever has a microphone. That's another thing that needs to stop too. These guys, they already established artists, so they know the game already. So it's easy to just pick up the phone and call somebody, man. So I just don't understand why they don't do that. You know,
yeah, yeah, that's true. Uh, That is true. You make a very good point. Like, you've already seen how things work. And you know what I mean? Communication definitely does help. Like, take the emotion out of it. Let's see how can we solve it. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to burn any bridges. But you also don't want to be disrespected. So you got to find that's that fine line, right?
yeah, and
But I
there's a
hear your
business
point.
way to do everything. Like you can just get like say, okay, I can't pay you up front, but you can get a percentage of this or whatever. Okay, that works. Make it work. For you to participate because the participation that's going to make the event better. What I'm saying. It's better for the fans and stuff like that. And also too in entertainment, you kind of always paying it forward for the next thing, for the next thing, for the next thing. So so I mean, I just don't understand why. It's just everything is weird. People in general are just weird, man. When it comes to things like that. You know?
100%, bro. 100%. Like, whatever. I mean, you've been around for a while, and sometimes I guess you get to the point where you just think things should be a certain way. I mean, he's standing on his business. I'll say that.
Yeah,
You
he's yapping
know
to
what I
us
mean?
though.
That is true. That
Yeah,
is true. Um, I don't even know how to talk about this one, bro. I don't even know what to say about this, but we're gonna talk about it. G Herbo says he is the best rapper alive, and he's gonna show you.
I gotta look him up. G Herbo.
Uh, yeah. So, I mean, I understand marketing. I get it. I know you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? You trying to
Oh, I know this guy.
sell. Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. He's got a new album that's coming out. G Herbo, bro. I don't think I've ever heard G Herbo mentioned in any best rap conversations at all.
Right,
Like, I think that's kind of a wild thing to throw out there. You know what I mean? Like,
right. You know, like
uh,
who said that? Busta Rhymes was excuse me, 50 Cent was snapping on Busta Rhymes because he had that big chain, right? And he was like, "Yo, man, anybody go tell him this chain is too big?" He's like, "Hey, you ain't got no friends. You ain't got no friends." This is true. Like you ain't got no friends, fam. Like you the greatest rapper alive. This, that, and the other. Like you don't have no friends. Like you have nobody to steer you the right way because that's not the right way to go about it.
And do you know what the name of his upcoming project is?
Uh, no.
Best rapper alive.
Oh, brother. Nas, right? Nas
Mm.
made an album, Hip Hop is Dead, right? Somebody like Nas don't need to make an album called Hip Hop is Dead. But he did it anyway. That's corny. That's why for a certain part of his career, it was kind of like suspect. People weren't checking on it. They're blaming on the beats and stuff like that. But it's really just like you didn't talk that through with somebody. You were just talking to your guys in the projects or whatever, or people, your yes men around you, and they thought that was a good idea. You know what I'm saying? That you didn't think that through as far as marketing, as far as building and this, that, and the other. So same thing too. The greatest rapper, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, bro. I don't know either. I'm
It's that
not.
conflict. Right? Just like same thing with the Nicki Minaj and the other Meg the Stallion. Oh, let's start some conflict that way people could watch and start commenting and getting building up the comments and stuff like that. Social media stuff. Is he any good? Is this guy any good?
I mean, I've heard G Herbo. He's not too bad. Like if I had to listen to him, I would listen to him. He's got some stuff that I think is decent.
Okay.
I can't call on anything from the top of my head. Like I don't know enough of his music to even tell you the name of a song, to even recite a verse that I like,
Yeah.
because he's part of the new wave of music. Not that new, but new enough that I was already kind of checked out. I'm already still listening to my old stuff. So I
Yeah.
can't say that. But I will say what I have heard of his flow. He can flow. He's got some good cadence. So I could listen to him. But the best rapper stuff, like that, that's like, I think that's kind of disrespectful to even throw out there. You know what I mean? But I get it. I know what's happening. I just don't get it. I mean, I don't know why you would say that.
Well, he'll say something like that, and then we'll talk about it, and then he'll hear about it. Oh, look at these clowns over here on Front Stoop talking about this, and it just creates that negative buzz that people love. People love the negative buzz, you know. And they say any
Yeah,
publicity is good publicity. So nowadays, they it's like the negative publicity is the best publicity.
that's true.
Yeah,
That's true. You ain't lying, because that I have heard that that's the case. You know what I mean? Like sometimes any publicity is good publicity. Some people should say all publicity ain't good publicity, but some nowadays it's like any publicity is good publicity. We're in such a sensationalized society nowadays. Everything that's negative, as long as it makes the news, it puts you in the spotlight, and people benefit and capitalize on it. So
yeah. Talent is
yeah,
not making publicity anymore. Like you'll see rappers, they'll have a campaign where they're trying to like show their skills. They'll do a couple like shocking videos, kind of just to get your attention. But they're rapping, they really showing their
right,
skills, stuff like that. But
right,
then it'll come out, you'll see, oh yeah, I saw that guy before, and then crickets. You don't hear about the dude ever again. Or they try to do it again, and then it's just that dude that, oh man, oh yeah, he did those songs. I don't really remember. But these little beefs and stuff like that, you remember them. They become big
right.
part of the culture. Like even like someone like Uncle Murder will make like a year in review talking about all the negative stuff that happened throughout the year. So
That's true. I mean, this is everything. It's how everything entertainment works nowadays in our society, and music especially. It's just, I mean, look at what sells. Look at what sells. I saw. That wasn't even something I wanted to talk about, but when you make me think of it, the other day, I forgot her name. Oh, Sexy Red.
all
She was
right,
doing some type of photo shoot or something, and the dude was behind her. Ye- Whatever. I mean, with his face in PG, with his face like literally on her backside, and she's taking pictures. Like, I, I don't know, man.
I
It's
don't get it.
crazy. It's crazy, B. I don't
Little
know what's
Nas X
happening.
too. That dude, Little Nas X, he was doing that devil stuff, just to draw attention. I don't get it. You know, I just
I
don't get
don't
that
know.
stuff.
I don't know. There's people. It's like wild, like because nobody cares to say anything looks wrong. It's all about freedom of speech and expression, and oh, so brave to be able to do that, to not care what people think. I champion that. I respect that. Why are you trying to silence this person? Let them be them. Let them have their creativity. Some things ain't creative. You know what I mean? Some
Right,
things I don't need to see you wearing a devil's outfit and red horns and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I just care about the music. But whatever.
right. Yeah, some people just be speaking just for the sake of riddling, rhyming for the sake of riddling. That's what I forgot who said that. Somebody cool said that.
It
Just
sounds like
talking.
it.
Yeah, just talking for the sake of talking, man.
Mm.
I mean, but big
Well,
up to my man here. Hopefully, he does well and stuff. I couldn't. I just don't get it. Like I'm looking at music and stuff like that. Has there been like any albums that people like that brought out recently that you could be like, oh, that's the album of the year type of thing? Do they even make albums like that anymore? Like you only hear from the big guys like J. Cole's out. You heard J. Cole's album, you heard Drake's album, but guys like this, like they got an album coming out, but you don't never they can't put together like 10 good songs.
yeah, that's true. I think that's part of the problem. Like we're not really hearing that same quality of music. And that's why I think that's part of the reason why I think so many people it's been coming to the forefront where all of these different artists that have something to say, the Killer Mikes, um the E40s, uh I don't know who else may have said something. Maybe Bun B did. I don't want to put wrong words in his mouth. I think Bun B did say something. But the artist stepping up saying that, hip hop is in trouble, because they don't necessarily love the way it's going. Like hip hop is really struggling right now. Outside of, if you really think about it, outside of everything that went on last year with, the 50th anniversary, um, Nas adding some new music. Um, but what is really coming out of hip hop these days? Like it's all of this raunchy, negative, booty shaking, promiscuity type music. I'm just saying, I'm PG. I'm cleaning it up, y'all. But all of this type of stuff, right? And then there's no, where is the, for lack of a better, person to mention, the Jay-Z album, the blah 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 album, the this album, this like 50 Cent is caught up in a whole bunch of other stuff. He's on his last tour, and he knows that the money's not in the music for him no more. Plus, he's kind of past it. Like he don't want to keep doing and perform. He's a millionaire, almost going to be a billionaire eventually when all this is said and done. Jay Z, we already know where he's at. Nas is still doing it because he's got love, but I would think Nas eventually is going to say, "This is it for me too. I've done enough. Now I gave you guys enough." Um, so all of these guys are starting to transition, but where is the J Cole's? Like J Cole came out with something not too long ago, but like when these guys were on high, Jay Z held you down for how many summers?
Yeah,
Nas was consistent. These guys were consistent with it. 50 was hitting you with albums. Where's the J. Cole new album? The last album wasn't as successful as I think he might have liked. So I would think it's time to revisit it and maybe say, you know what, I got to come at it with a different approach. He's actually kind of, in my opinion, struggled with finding the right chemistry to make a good album. You know what I mean? Ever since he did the one with role models on it and stuff. I can't remember the name of that album, but
yeah,
I mean that was fire. Um, where's Kendrick Lamar?
yeah. He's been missing in the game for a long time. But they put a lot of pressure on themselves too, man. This guy Kendrick Lamar, not Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, he does albums by himself. He makes his own beats, he writes his own rhymes, he does the own artwork, he does everything by himself. So the industry itself, it doesn't even want to invest in him like that. Like he did a song with Benny the Butcher, right? And like
Mm,
if you listen to the song, it's like he's dissing Benny the Butcher in the song. But that's the only way that he can get his own sharpen his own pen because of the way things are. Nobody cares about that anymore. They
mm,
more care about the more negative stuff. They don't really care about the art form. So at least so it seems. A lot of these super lyricists, these guys are in these freestyle the freestyle market. Not even in the battle market. You see them in like doing freestyles on YouTube and stuff like that. Oh, this guy's nice. How come he's not signed? Look at Big Pun's son. Big Pun's son is like one of the best artists in the world, and he doesn't have anything mainstream because people, that the game is kind of messed up. You know, you mentioned some other topics that's coming up that probably would really tie into what we're talking about too. Everything is kind of connected, but it's interesting. I think we let the corporations take over hip hop while all of us were arguing with each other. Talking about all the Noris of the world and all this other stuff. But while those guys were like beefing with each other, infighting and stuff, the industry swooped in I said, we got our own formula. We don't need you guys. And
Mm,
then now look at hip hop. You know?
it's true. You ain't lying because that's exactly what took place. They basically took hip hop right up from underneath us,
Yeah,
and it's turned into something else. But yeah, but like I know it's not. I mean, I'm just a fan. You know, I don't know what it's like to be a hip hop artist and to go through the struggles and the pressures of trying to continue to make albums that sell and make the industry happy, like make these big corporations happy, the engines. um but I do know that I feel like um a lot of people's careers seem to have fizzled out quicker than I would have expected. Like, because I just thinking about it with J Cole just doesn't record as frequently enough for my satisfaction. For someone who I think is that good, I just don't think he records enough.
yeah,
So I think he should definitely be capitalizing, putting out more music, right? And then Kendrick Lamar, I mean, forget about it. That guy, real. I mean, he's on his J Electronica. I don't know what's going on with this guy. Like, he rarely puts out. And I'm like, what else does Kendrick? I could understand if Kendrick had a recurring role on a TV show because I know he gets into acting or something like that. He's like, I'm just really doing this. I don't know what Kendrick is doing. Maybe some people just don't have the love for the music like that.
right.
Andre 3000 talked about it, walked away and left all of that promise on the table, and now he doesn't have the heart for hip hop anymore, or whatever. Whatever. I don't know.
You remember what he said though? He was just saying that, oh, well, I'm like 40 something years old. What am I going to talk about? And like for him to say that just like it just makes like even his best music trash. He considers his best music like beneath him, or like, not good stuff because was he going to talk about that stuff again? Wait a second, that stuff is some of your greatest iconic music, and you said that you can't make that anymore at your age because it's like, what am I going to do? Talk about that? I'm too old for that. Oh, so what does that mean? That like a whole era of hip hop is just like in the trash? You know what I'm trying to say? So I mean,
Right.
there's the, all those guys are gatekeepers. He doesn't even know himself as a gatekeeper. You know what I'm trying to say? So all the people that should be having the voice and should be pushing other artists out and stuff like that. Like you said, you mentioned Killer Mike. Killer Mike is still trying to get on. He's still trying to get people to listen to his old stuff. So it's weird. It's definitely a weird thing, but it seems like it only happened with hip hop, you know.
I don't know. I don't. It. I don't. It seems like that just today's artist, whether or not they're actually from today or from further back, they're just not hungry. They don't have that same level of hunger, and unfortunately, it sucks because that level of hunger puts people in positions to do a lot of wild stuff, but also forces them in a position to make some of their greatest work. Like in the 90s, it was like I feel like I was selfish now, all the good stuff I got to hear in the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff like that. Like that all that hip hop that we got, those artists were hungry and they were competitive and they were competing because of the fact that that's what the industry demanded and that's what the fans demanded and what we paid for. Now it's like there's that competition level is not there. The industry, the big machines, the engines, they're not getting behind these established artists anymore. I understand that, and that definitely could put a damper on things. But there's a lot of people who have thrived and been successful independently. Why aren't people doing more in that route? Why isn't a guy like where's a Big Sean? Like, I know Big Sean's having a life. He's, got his woman. He's got a kids now or a baby. Like, things have changed for him too, but like he was still, I thought, one of the good rappers out there, and he was a part of that class, the Kendricks, and J. Cole's and all that. Even Drake, someone who is now at that point. Drake is at the point of where Jay-Z was when Drake was coming into the game. Maybe a little bit longer than that, but it was right at that point where Jay-Z was starting to fade out a little bit because the fans were getting younger and younger, and they were starting to gravitate towards a guy like Drake who spoke to them. He was young like them. He did what they did. And now Drake is at the older stage, and it's interesting, like instead of him trying to make music that the fans might want to see, he's still making music for himself, which is not too bad. It's just that he's like it's not doesn't seem like hip hop. You know what I mean? Maybe he's just not that artist anymore. But hip hop is what needs a Drake. You know what I mean? He might be doing stuff because it appeals to him, but hip hop needs some saving right now. Hip hop needs a rebirth. Somebody's got to help take it, get it back to where it was. So,
And Drake makes music that you could shop to, right? That's what most Def said. I'm surprised that people didn't really get at most Def about that, because it's kind of like kind of crazy that he said it, but he said it in a smooth way. But I don't think people took him serious because a lot of people don't even know who Most Def is. First of all, he's going by Yasin Bey. People don't even know who that is, and then Most Def they don't
right,
even know who Most Def is. So that's the big disconnection. In other genres, people know all of the greats. And they still get excited to see the greats when they come out.
right.
But like I said, hip hop is the only genre when our greats come out, and people are like, who the hell is that? It's like crazy, man.
Yeah, it's definitely wild, man. It's definitely wild. I mean, hopefully, something will come along to help change what's going on right now. I honestly don't think it's gonna happen until some new rapper comes along that is just fire. Some new young rapper that comes along and just spits fire, and everybody's like, "Yo, this kid is cold," or "She's cold," and then takes the game by storm. That is gonna help infuse new energy and new life into hip hop. That is going to spur some competition, creativeness amongst peers. And that is what you need. Like, that's the problem. The other thing is like this new generation of rappers. I mean, who's nice? I need to see the niceness. The niceness is what's going to drive this thing. It's missing.
Yeah. Not even the nice too. Like, nice, yeah, that's one thing. But and also like where's the Missy Elliott's, the creative ones, the people that
Mm,
just not just they're not just spitting, but they just putting creative music together. You're like, wow, it's dope, man. Where everybody feels it. We haven't had that
right.
in a good minute.
Yeah, that's a fact. We'll see what happens, man. I hope something changes sooner than later, and it would be nice for a lot of our favorite artists to make one more go at it, man. At least one more. You know what I mean? After what Nas did in such a really good way, he didn't just throw music together. He put good music out and multiple different albums. Um, you know, if all of our guys who still got it, feel like they still got it, could give us just one more album, I'd be satisfied. If Ludacris came out with another one, maybe if Scarface came out with another one, if Jay-Z hit us with like if these guys just all, took their time and got together and put one more good body of work out there, that helps the longevity of the music. I think it gives it a little bit more time to fix itself, in my opinion.
Well, you mentioned supergroups, like this one is in my mind now. I'm thinking of Scarface. Excuse me, Czarface. That's a group
Huh.
that's has Inspector Deck, and it has this other group that's in it too. I can't think of the name right now. But anyway, they just boys, and they say, hey, let's do something together. And then they name themselves something totally different. They didn't really market it too much, but then once you hear the music, you're like, oh, this is dope. That sounds like this guy. Oh, it is that guy. And
Mm.
say like another guy too, like OC made a song with, I mean, an album. Uh, so I can't think of his name either, but I mean, you just grab an artist and then just do an album together, just to put, like, what's his name? Ed OG did an album with Master Ace. They just did an
Mm.
album together. KRS One did one with Buckshot. So just grab an artist and just make some music together and just put it out. Like, the hell with it. Like, but I don't know. Like, they're still trying to appeal to the younger crowd. Look at I mentioned Buster a couple times. Buster is still trying to appeal to like 17-year-olds and 16-year-olds. He had a music video with like a new young artist, a female, and he's like robbing
Uh,
what's her name?
Coil Ray.
Yeah, he's like robbing a freaking diner. Like, you're Busta Rhymes. Why are you robbing a diner? That's what you want to be in the video to show you to be relevant, or I don't know. You think that's cool? The kids will think that's cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I appreciate him for at least putting some work out,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's one of the things. Like, you're gonna put the work out. I mean, hopefully you believe in it and it's exactly what you want to do and promote your vision that you see for yourself. Don't just try to acquiesce to what you think is the right thing to do because that's what people are looking forward to. So, like, it's kind of like a catch 22. I know what I said right now, and then I know what I said about Drake.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want Drake to kind of just do whatever just to appeal to what people think, but you also want to satisfy your core fan base who loves your music and loves hearing certain things from you. You know, you could still do he could still I mean, Drake's albums be pretty good amount of songs on it. You could still do like 6 or 7 songs of what most people want to hear and still get your Drake off in those other songs, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but
Kanye's
whatever.
done it too. How many different albums has he had that sound sonically different? Or just had like totally different like themes, and it might not even be the same genre. But he'll put it out. But he's Kanye. He can do that.
Right.
So why can't other artists do that? So I think that's our
Yeah.
wish for this podcast for artists to just come out and make music, man. You know.
I'm with you. I'm with you. That would be great. I definitely would want to see that. I don't know why that's it's so difficult these days, but this is the world we live in. So speaking of the music industry, T-Pain is one, if not like this is so crazy to me, guys. Like I know if someone may be watching this show live or watching the show later, if you're a little bit younger, I mean, you're probably familiar with who T-Pain is because of the gimmicky thing that they've kind of made him to be with the voice box thing, the auto tune and all that stuff. Um, and I should say auto tune because voice box is actually something different. But with the auto tune thing, right? But T-Pain is super talented. Like he's so talented. He's even more talented than I thought he was. I can't even count how much talent this brother has. Like he can really sing. That we found out years ago, right? He's doing it again, and it's like it's for the first time for some people. And I'm reading comments. I'm like, I didn't know he could really sing. I mean, you didn't watch his tiny desk that he recorded years ago. Like this ain't new. But he can really sing. That's one. He started off as a rapper, right? When he first came into the music and he was rapping, right? But he transitioned from that. Then he got into singing. Then he got with the auto tune thing, and it just took off from there, right? But the other thing about T Pain is he writes his music, right? But he writes for others, and so apparently he is such an enterprising person that he started writing country music songs, right? And he's wrote for some interesting artists out there. Now, I don't have the list of artist names in front of me, uh, but he has done some really interesting things for country artists. Um, uh, I don't think he's even mentioned who some of the artists are. I don't know if those artists wanted to be known that T Pain has written for them, but so apparently, so the point is he is now no longer trying to even talk about or take any credit for the songs that he has written or worked with regards to the country music industry in particular, because he thinks that there's a lot of racism associated with it. Um, he says country music is where he gets all his harmonies, country and gospel music, and that's where all his harmonies come from. He's wrote a lot of country songs. Stop taking credit for it, because as cool as it is to see your name in those credits and stuff like that, the racism that comes after it is just like, you know what, I'll just take the check. Don't put on nothing. I'll just take the check, bro.
So
So
what does he mean by the
apparently
racism
he's
though?
been I so he's not really elaborating too much as to what exactly is happening. Um, um, yeah, he's just saying that, he just doesn't want to associate himself with, putting his name on the stuff he's dealing with. I guess he must. I don't know if he's gotten threats or he's gotten. Maybe he talked about it on one point. I think he said something. No, it wasn't him. It was K Michelle.
Mhm.
K Michelle, if you guys are familiar, is a female singer. I think she's based out of the Atlanta area, but female R&B singer. But she is gotten into a lot of country music airwave stuff. She's singing country music and she's had some good success with it. But she also said that she's been looked down upon when she goes into some of these venues. She's on a bill with other country music singers, and she's getting some racist undertones and stuff. So I think T Pain is kind of referring to some stuff like that. He just doesn't like the way he's been treated or the way he's received, knowing that he feels he's contributed to some success in the country music industry. So he just, I'll do it, but I just want the check. Don't put my name on nothing or whatever. Keep me silent.
But doesn't that sound like hip hop though? It sounds like country music has gatekeepers, and
Mm,
TPain is trying to get into country music, and the gatekeeper said nope. And they're making it hard for him to want to stay in the space. You get what I'm trying to say?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean the capital of country music is Nashville, right? Nashville, Tennessee. Everybody knows that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
they have country music awards and stuff like that. Those award shows are always packed with thousands, with thousands of people at these arenas. All these different art. It's just country music, but they have all these different awards and stuff. You can see the power that they have with their industry, their country music. It's to the point that most people that like hip hop, especially like in urban areas, like forget down south. Down south, people have a love for country music. But like in urban areas like the West Coast and say like in the East Coast and that type of thing, we don't necessarily mess around with country music because of that racist undertone. You know what I'm trying
Hmm.
to say? So I mean, I wish the hip hop was like that. I wish hip hop had their checks and balances where they made sure that their genre itself is thriving within itself. People that enjoy hip hop, that enjoy country music, they can there's a place that you can go. Like the Mecca is like Nashville, Tennessee, right? But the Mecca of hip hop is New York. But the country at the moment is shitting on New York, saying New York hip hop is dead and all the artists, the boom bap is old. All what I'm trying to say is a lot of conflict and there's no respect and there's no history. And like I said, there's no gatekeepers. Like
Right.
Willie Nelson could bust out and just he could do like a collaboration with literally anybody in the industry, and people will fuck with it. But to say if Jay-Z, not Jay-Z, Big Daddy Kane came out of nowhere and did a song with like Drake right now, people will be like, yo, what the hell are you doing? Like it would sabotage Drake's career if he did something like that, because nobody would even know who he was to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I wish hip hop was a lot like country music, because then we could shut down certain bullshit too. Like if like they say not necessarily a white rapper, but just like a whack rapper. If a rapper came out and tried to put stuff out, the industry would destroy it because like man, that's not real, man. They're not gonna support it. That person won't be able to thrive. But all the fake stuff, everybody's able to thrive now, in hip hop because we're not in control of it anymore.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you, man. Like this is something. It's bigger than just country music. It is the whole music industry, and it's a lot of life. It's happening all over in everything. So you're right. Uh, I, I don't know. I don't know what to say about
No,
that. I mean,
it's the point now that like international music, so like African music and like excuse me, Latino music, that they're running the world right now. Afrobeat is like running the world right now. And these companies would rather sign one of those guys and push them up and give them the big budgets and stuff like that than mess with anybody having to do with hip hop, and that's crazy.
right. That's 100%. It's very true. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough to see what's going on with this with everything that's happening in our music on the whole, and I don't know what to expect from you know things going forward. I mean, I feel bad. Like I'm starting to think about like I mean, what if this kind of precipitates like the changing of music as we know it? Like, what if it just keeps getting worse? Because I never think about that. Like, I don't really love what I've heard. I still listen to some music that's current, but it's really rare. But what if it just keeps getting worse? And then I'm finding myself never listening to any new music because it's all trash of
Right.
any sort. Like, I don't know.
I'm already doing that now, man. I don't even listen to the old stuff anymore. Like today, I was listening to the Beat Nuts, the same album that's right behind you on your left.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was listening to that album, and then just like just the content, didn't it was just dated content. The music, some of the music was still good, but it's just dated. But I'm starting to feel like most of the stuff is kind of dated. It's like the same kind of thing. Like we get on these guys, the ladies here about only talking about raunchy stuff, and they're beefing with each other, and it's not and the other. But if you listen to some of our old stuff, it's like like there was no everything went like this, and then nothing transitioned. There's no transition. It just was like this was this era. Now that's old. Now here goes this next era, and we can't go back. Nobody wants to look back at the old era. Everything is new new now, until oblivion, until it dissipates.
Yeah. Well, once again, man, hopefully him speaking up or at least putting it out there allows people to find out a little bit more information from him, those he wants to talk to and trust. And then maybe they can do a little bit more about the industry and try to kind of, you know, bridge the gap a little bit because you can't fix it. It is what it is, And like you said, the gatekeepers, the gatekeepers for a reason. They make it that way. But maybe bridge the gap to make it a little bit more friendly. Because if he's adding value to your genre of music and you're enjoying it, you should accept him. I mean, with anyone, but we'll see.
Right. I got a coworker, man, that if it's a white rapper, he don't care how nice they are or what music is coming out and how ill their verse is. He don't care. He just like, that's not real. They're fake. They why does he sound like that? His voice is different. But then you bring up another artist that's similar, but they happen to not be white. All of a sudden, oh, he's good. Yeah, but he's doing the same thing as this guy. But it's like a bias. I mean,
Wow,
so we do it too. This
that's true.
people, yeah, people have their biases and stuff too.
Yeah, you ain't lying. That is true. Hopefully, like I said, we can come together and they can, do the right thing for the sake of the music and the sake of the culture, whatever the culture may be, whichever genre.
Right.
But the last thing I wanted to get to before we get out of here, is Mr. Jam Master J. Apparently there's obviously as a witness to the shooting. And I should actually change this because it initially was the Jam Master Jay witness recalls the fatal shooting, right? But now it's because this is the most current stuff that's been happening, right? Jam Master Jay witness recants the fatal shooting. What was witnessed at the fatal shooting?
They recanted
Um,
it? She recanted it?
mm-hmm,
Was that something that
mm-hmm.
happened today or something?
Apparently, it's within the last 5 days. I don't know which day it was, but
Mm.
apparently it's recent. So this person does not want to speak up. So about what's going on, or is now pleading the fifth or whatever. So let's just see here. So testimony continued Tuesday in the trial in the murder of Jason Mizell, also known as Jam Master Jay. Prosecutors told the judge they fear some witnesses may lie under oath. Blah, blah, blah. Federal prosecutors filed a late night notice in court Monday warning that some of his witnesses are now reluctant to testify and may lie under oath or plead the fifth out of fear of retaliation. Um, hmm. Uh,
It's crazy, man. Sounds like movie. It sounds like an episode of Power or something like that.
Wow. So, in a blow to the defense Tuesday, Judge LaShawn DRC Hall allowed a photo lineup that one eyewitness used to identify Washington into evidence. So, that's one of the, alleged killers of Jam Master Jay. Um, one person is Carl Jordan Jr. The other one is his childhood friend Ronald Washington. So they're both accused of ambushing Mizell, Jam Master Jay, inside his Hollis, Queens recording studio. Um, uh, and this and apparently this is because uh, Jam Master Jay cut them out of a drug trafficking deal. Hmm.
That's something
So
that's not really talked about. They talk about the shooting and whatever, but he actually was legit selling drugs, though.
yeah, yeah, that
I don't
was
need
the
to
other side of
laugh.
Jam. That's the
I
other
don't
side of Jam Master Jay. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was in
like
the
he
street.
legit was selling drugs. Like I didn't know. Listen, I don't want nobody coming after me neither. You know what I'm saying? Because there's stuff there's word of mouth stuff that people talk about that people are privy to. That just gets around. You know what I'm saying? So people knew that Jam Master Jay was doing whatever he was doing. So it's just odd. That's another thing that's just odd. This whole thing here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently that is what precipitated them ambushing him and taking him out. apparently. And so the defense is basically saying that the prosecutors have no evidence against their clients and relying solely on aging memories. So
Damn.
that's where it is. And apparently, the first eyewitness is supposed to be called this week. So we'll see what happens. But now they're in the prosecutors are in fear that the whole case could blow up because people are, I guess, are scared and want to recant their testimony.
Man, the shooting was in 2002?
Imagine that, bro.
It was in 2002? We're talking about something 22 years ago? Oh my goodness, man. This is like, I mean, police officers, man, like, this probably might maybe police officers watching. So I don't want to be like dissing police, but if they want to find somebody, they can find them. If they want to come get to the bottom of things, they could do that. But 22 years, a case like this that they should be open and shut. Everybody knows, I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, we don't know enough about it, and they're not. I mean, I wasn't following it, so I can't really say. But I think they might have had an idea who did stuff. They just couldn't put the case together in order to be able to prosecute, and then you needed witnesses, and so it took them some time for people to feel comfortable even coming forward. And I think now that they got people to come forward, now these people are scared and don't want to testify now. So
So what is it? They're waiting for the gangsters to retire. Wait for them to get too old and retire and die off, and say, okay, now I remember. Now I want to testify.
yeah, I
Because the guy that
guess.
was going to kill me now is 60 years old now. So
I guess, but I guess it looks like that don't matter anymore because if somebody's putting pressure or scaring these people, so it looks like it don't matter.
man, I feel
Wow.
sorry for that man. Because I mean, something like that, it should have been resolved a long time ago, man. Something should have became of it. You know.
Yeah, it's a whole sad set of things, man. You know, all I can say is I hope justice happens for whatever it is. We feel Jam Master Jay was a pioneer of the music industry we call hip hop, or the music genre, if you will, and appreciate him for the success and what he did to help this thing become what it is, because they're part of the forefront, the pioneers. Whether or not he was involved in any other things extracurricular on his on the side, and that's another story. I don't know why I can't call it. Some people just like they live their life the way they live it, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah, it's hard to make it out here in this game. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. And sometimes people do things because they have their own reasons. You know what I mean? Maybe it's easier to when you got your own money, your own stream of income, you're able to move on the way you want to move and do things the way you want to do it. Whatever. I don't know. I can't speak on it because I don't know him and I wasn't in the streets with him. And if I was, you wouldn't hear me speaking on it anyway because that'd be my people's. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah, it's goofy stuff, man. Because I mean, there's like I said, there's information out there through word of mouth that people say. So you can't really
yeah,
speak up too much about it, man.
facts. Well, I thank you guys for tuning in. This has been another episode of the wrap up on the front stoop. I am Ron. That's my brother Eru over there. Please tune in and stay tuned for when you might see us next. It could be possibly next Thursday at 8, not at 8:30, at 9:20 or so. Or it could be next Friday at 7 p.m. again, because we've got other things that conflict with our show on Thursdays. So we may have to do it again next Friday. We'll see. But we'll keep you guys tuned in. Next week we should have a special guest for you guys. We'll be talking hip hop with that person as long as we can confirm. But if not, stay tuned. I'm sure we'll be talking about something interesting because there's a lot going on in the world, and every week is a new week. So stay safe out there. And I guess, man, until next time, brother. Eru, anything else?
Have a good night, guys. Thanks for tuning
There
in.
you
Good show. I always like hanging out with Ron and stuff. It's good topics, stuff that I didn't even know about. That I'm just hearing about it as he's telling me. So it's good stuff to me.
Yeah, man. It's fun times, man. Can't complain. Enjoy it. And we definitely look forward to chopping it up with you guys on the next one. But like I said, stay safe out there, and hopefully, you know what I mean, some stuff gets right, man. Because this music industry and all this stuff that's happening, man, we wanted to go back to the old ways it was, just about the music, some good stuff we can jam to. You know what I mean? Remember the parties? Remember the red light joints? You know what I mean? Anyway, maybe one day. We out. Latest.
Peace.
Run that